So lots of crazy stuff to see in this match between NVOT and Barnegat. You're about to watch a water dragon go down, down, down.
And the water dragon has been successfully slain by Barnegat.
Yeah, that's going to be the second dragon of the game. That means the Inferno is blazing. We'll change up the rift a little bit here, so that'll open up a couple of pathways here and there. And that's also the last dragon before our friend, the Elder Dragon, appears as well. So plenty of stuff to try to watch out for at the end of the day. For now, though, it has been a pretty even back and forth for each of these teams. Most of the kills that you see over for NVOT are heavily focused on that top lane where the Rumble has been able to hit a couple of nice little kills here and there, but for now, it is going to be about trying to reset, and we actually have another technical pause. Earlier on, NVOT was reporting some keyboard trouble. I hope it's not related to that again. So we'll give that a little bit of time to check peripherals, go through things, and give us a little bit of time to refresh, reset, figure out what's happening here. So far, despite the fact that everything looks pretty even here in terms of the kills, the thing that is really scary to me is those dragons, because it is really hard to quantify the real power of the stats those dragons can give you, and as a result of that, that's already going to be giving a Barnegat an edge once you start getting deeper and deeper into this game, when champions are starting to get their full item builds, and it's going to give you that competitive edge.
Rather unfortunate that we're having more technical difficulties.
Yeah. For now, though, nothing too crazy here. Also, this is another good opportunity for us to just give you a moment to get a bit more of an update here. All these towers are still live. Remember, if you are new to the world of League of Legends, you need to defeat the towers first, then those pesky inhibitors that are preventing you from summoning your super minions, and then the Nexus itself. So plenty of steps still need to be taken by these players just yet. We have seen Barnegat in the top lane. Burrito on the Scion has been doing a very good job just applying that pressure, trying to get these tower plates down. I believe that is the tower that is the closest to going down so far in this game. But for now, they still need to get that first tower blood, and we'll have to see if they're going to be able to do that as we come back from this pause.
I think the towers in the middle and the bottom lane are also pretty close too. One of them is half.
Yeah, look at that. I can see that as well. So yeah, lots of pressure coming down all over the map. Just like First Blood, though, First Tower is also going to give you a lot of extra gold. And now that we're about to approach that 14 minutes, the plates are going to come down. These are extra defenses on the towers that make them harder to kill in the early game. Means that you have to protect them. It means they are able to protect you a little bit easier. But when these tower plates fall, they will not be able to protect you any longer. You have to protect them. For now, though, things are looking pretty solid. No main options found here, there, or anywhere. I will say I do like the Sylas in the mid lane as well. That's something that we haven't talked about yet. Sylas is one of the trickier champions that Barnegat can be playing right now, just because Sylas's ultimate ability allows him to steal the ultimate abilities of other champions in the game. So as a result, talk about that later. Here comes a bit of a fight. Nice peel from the Nos, able to move off this lane, but it's not going to be enough. Evo Reverse is now on a killing spree, and they're going to be able to peel away. No, they're trying to go for even more. There's the pull. Nos goes down. Green Dragoon is able to find it onto Gumdruk. Fantastic stuff from Barnegat.
So now, why would they have fallen back at that point instead of continuing pushing?
Well, again, they want to try to go for that peel. We'll talk about that in a second. We are seeing more fighting up in the top lane. Scion thinks they have enough. Barnegat has to peel away there. Flashes away. You can see they didn't expect that. It's now too late for Burrito to try to move in. Heck, Rumble even decided to do a little bit of dance on the fadeaway.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of BM, but we take that here at Georgian Court. I got to say, overall, it depends. It's going to be every commentator's favorite answer to a lot of that. And I'll talk about it later. Darius space checks into the bush, but Sylas is here for the support. Trying to get the peel. Will find it here at the end of the day, but here comes Leone. Is able to peel away as well from the ability. Nocturne moves forward. Darius still goes down, but no! Wait a minute! We still have a fight going on. Sylas moved in, gets out more than they can chew. Yone is able to get a clean double kill. The NVOT bot lane may be suffering, but they're making up for it in other parts of the rift.
So now Barnegat has their first tower.
Yes.
So do you think that puts them in an advantage now, or is it still too early to tell?
Gold advantage. However, at the end of the day, there are other things than gold to worry about here, like Shelly. the Rift Herald, which is just taken down by NVOT. This is going to give them an effective battering ram that they're going to be able to whirl through these towers. So eventually, once you see things like the Scion going down, again, another kill for NVOT, you are going to see more pressure, are going to see more advantages coming in here. And now we are just going to have to see where that battering ram is going to be deployed. It will take a little bit of time here. We do see the bot lane shifting up into the mid lane. They weren't able to take their tower, but they want to start exerting more and more pressure across the map.
It appears that NVOT is applying a lot of pressure, being with how many kills they got in like the last few seconds.
But again, it's more than just the kills, right? Because the kills are great. They give you gold, but the real thing they give you is priority. For that last team fight, NVOT used those kills to buy themselves the Rift Herald. They were able to clear up the space, get the Rift Herald. Now they're going to be able to build more advantage off of that. From now, though, we're going to have to see where they're able to really focus that down, because you can have all the econ, all the advantages in the world, but it doesn't matter if you don't use them at the end of the day.
So can we tell what abilities they have so far?
In a little bit. Wait a second, that's another Scion ulti here at the end of the day. However, Yone is a much slipperier champion than Rumble, so it's going to be a little bit harder to really knock him down with any of that hard CC that Scion is known for. We'll take a look at some of those abilities in a little bit. For now, though, again, each team is just trying to find their ins as we're approaching the 20-minute mark. No one really is looking for that heavy commit just yet. We haven't really seen too many heavy team fights, just a couple of little skirmishes that begin to evolve and evolve and evolve. No crazy 5-man fights just yet, though. For now, though, we are going to have to keep looking for advantages. Plenty of pings coming down here all over the place, and we even get a little bit of a scuffle here. It should be clear that's a sign to go away, run away. And it seems like, yep, Dragoon is going to get a quick little eye of the dragon as it goes down. So that is going to delay our Elder Dragon tracker here. We're going to have to see how long it takes for more advantage to come on through. Once again, the Scion has been caught off all alone. Takes down, but again, Burrito isn't worth a lot of gold right now, so I don't know if they mine too much. The thing you have to worry, though, is that they're starting to be losing more and more, putting themselves behind, preventing themselves from really getting that econ that we were seeing. Those early deaths that they had, they were able to turn that into minion waves. Wait a second, here is more of a fight coming in here in the mid lane. Barnegat bot lane doing everything they can. Can't quite get the kill, though. We'll have to keep watching around.
They're lacking a little defense on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's going to be more than enough for NVOT to try to push an advantage here. Again, the tower's going down. Things are still actually surprisingly even when it comes to gold, but the kills, the objectives are increasingly beginning to favor NVOT.
Yes, indeed they are.
Yeah, we'll have to give that a little bit more time to figure out what else could be happening. But for now, again, everyone just looking for that reset. No one wants to try to overexert themselves, overextend, and be the reason why their team has to regroup.
They are playing very carefully, at least Barnegat is. They seem to be playing very slowly and taking their time with what they're choosing to do for the most part.
Interesting, because Barnegat is usually the team that always has their foot on the gas, right?
Yes.
They like going in. They like going for these big, aggressive plays. But NVOT has been doing a really good job piecing them apart, trying to find ways to single them out and preventing that big, crazy fight from coming to fruition. So all in all, things are looking pretty good here. And NVOT has plenty of time to try to figure out how to stop the Barnegat train from rolling.
Because we can see a good example of that when they were fighting the Inferno Drake, where it was just the Darius.
Yeah, and again, that was just also recognizing good positioning here.
Yes.
They knew where Barnegat was, and as a result, they knew where Barnegat wasn't. They had plenty of priority that let them go into the bottom side river, let them try to go for one of these advantages, and oh no, this is what I was worried about. Burrito forced the ulti to run away. They are running in the wrong direction, but they should be all right at the end of the day. We also see the Otacon spawning in the top lane. This is another major objective that grants the team that slays it another bit of an advantage here.
It appears Barnegat might be taking this one, but
yeah,
NVOT is definitely thinking about it.
Barnegat has been able to get here first, but NVOT knows it's happening. We already have a couple of ultis coming down here. TP as well. Nocturne onto the backline. Is able to find onto the backline. Followed by the Yone. That's going to be a quick little PM and a double kill for the Nocturne. NVOT cleaning up. Burrito goes down. They're turning to the objective, but Swain and Scion are still chugging. Swain goes down. Scion too. Everyone's low. Yone has enough after that triple kill left in the tank to take down the Otacon. Yep, 1 HP in a dream will not be enough. Textbook play from NVOT.
So how, in that instance, what made it where they were able to take Barnegat down so quickly?
Barnegat, because they're focusing on that objective first, we're taking a lot of additional damage, right? You have to deal with not only the enemy team bearing down on you, but you also have to worry about the computer opponent also beating down on you, trying to go for that aggression. Furthermore, too, once again, NVOT was just able to pick Barnegat apart in that last fight. We saw the Nocturne move in at the last second, really isolate down the Barnegat bot lane, gave enough time for the Yone to sneak in to also double down, get that damage, take most of Barnegat's priority out of the fight before it could even begin. On top of that, too, we also saw Bolivar's Rumble do a fantastic job moving on in, getting the ulti down for a little bit of extra damage, forcing Barnegat to move out of the way before they can really continue the fight.
They also choose a very good time to like go in because they were the monster was already
Otacon,
like, it was already like half health.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They completely were just waiting for them to do most of the work.
And again, just because you're the early bird doesn't mean you necessarily always get that worm. Sometimes a smarter bird lets you do all the work to take down that worm. But either which way, though, it isn't the end for Barnegat. They just need to find more advantages, but this cannot be the beginnings of ones. Darius goes down far too fast. Bolivar able to find a really clean kill there onto Travo.
And in that time, they were also able to take down 2 more towers.
Yeah, again, objective after objective. We do have Burrito coming on in. However, I don't know if that's going to be enough. They weren't actually able to get the kill onto the Rumble, but look at everything else coming down here. We are able to get the Nihilus at the end of the day, but once again, NVOT cleans up, and that's going to get them a Tree Dragon in the process.
So I keep seeing them go in for these really big group fights. Like, why are they doing that?
Well, again, I really got to say, this is impressive to watch. Barnegat is now behind, and you got to think they're starting to feel that, right?
Yeah.
It's why you're starting to see them go in and make some of these aggressive plays. The problem, though, is they're either getting picked apart beforehand, like we saw the Darius go down initially, or they're getting picked apart during these fights as well, which is also a nightmare to have to deal with. So lots of things to have to worry about here. For now, though, again, while the kills show a 10-kill deficit, the Dragons are even. The towers are also looking pretty similar as well. It's just going to be a question of how these advantages are going to shake out here. For now, though, let's just get things room to breathe. Objectives are going to reset. Items shall be purchased. Surprises will be made. I will say Scion, Burrito, despite being a little bit on the lower end of the stick right here, they still are pretty okay when it comes to gold. You can see on the bottom of the screen right now, they're actually ahead in CS. Also, only a kill and a change behind the Rumble, despite being quite heavily down in kills. So that works out quite a bit here.
So do you think that NVOT has the advantage in their ability to pick them apart, or do they have an ability advantage?
Well, I think it's a mix of things, right? Like, NVOT certainly has a lot of pick that we've been talking about at the start of the pick and bans, right? So they are using both their abilities, but they're also really good at using those abilities, right? Like, I've said it once, I said it 1,000 times. The fact that we've seen the peel coming in for the, excuse me, I don't know why I always forget the name of Nocturne. It's because it's always hiding in the shadows and make me forget that he even exists. But we've seen incredible peel from that Nocturne, a lot of hectic shouting and paranoia of where the Nocturne is in these fights. And we're not just seeing that happen, we're actually seeing other threats move in first before the Nocturne, so that way you can't really just call it down and shut it down immediately here. So Barnegat does have their advantages, but again, it's tricky for them to perform when they're going in all at once. They're being picked apart one by one.
NVOT is very good at targeting.
Very much so, yes. And again, we'll have to see how that is able to persist here as well, where for now, everyone is just trying to find that reset. No one wants to be the reason, again, why the pendulum swings at this point. So you want to find more and more opportunities to work things through. And I will say, though, Burrito, I keep seeing Burrito in the dangest of places, honestly, as we've been coming down here, really trying to be a thorn in NVOT's side. Does have teleport, so that doesn't mean they're fully abandoning their team. They can try to move and join team fights as they kind of go. We'll have to see which direction that moves in as it happens, though. For now, though, that is going to be it for us on the League of Legends side of things on Twitch. If you're here in person, stick around. But if you're on Twitch, we're going to be moving over to the Super Smash Bros. Stage for our Valkyrie finals. Take a look over there. And with that, we are now back here on the League of Legends stage. For all of you, congratulations, or my condolences. None of you know how to teleport, and I'm very sad. Regardless of that, we do get to see more what's happening here. Thankfully, each of the teams that decided to calm down a little bit during that transition, so we didn't have to call a fight.
It seems to be that they're taking it a little easier now. There's not as many like head-on battles going on.
Yeah, again, no one wants to be the reason why the pendulum swings. No one wants to be the reason why anything crazy happens at the end of the day. So everyone trying to take a break. Everyone wants to try to make sure they're able to econ up, get these objectives before they group up, before they ball up to get an advantage. For now, though, we are going to have to wait and see how these objectives go through. NVOT, though, has been showing a lot of dominance here when it comes to the kills, when it comes to the gold, when it comes to the map control, honestly. At the end of the day, they have been incredibly strong when it comes to just finding these opportunities, trying to make sure they're able to deny anything from Barnegat that they can, be it either neutral objectives, Barnegat's objectives that they want to go for, because I see this Darius is looking pretty starved from some of their camps in the jungle. For now, though, it is going to take a little bit more time. They are going to have to figure things out, and we already are starting to see pings coming down onto that dragon, but it is far too late. That's going to be the third dragon coming in favor of NVOT. Triple Infernal coming down is a lot of damage.
And unfortunately, Barnegat now has lost their dragon lead.
Yeah.
And so does having those 3 Inferno dragons, is it better than the water and
I say it all stacks, but look at this, by the way. Rumble is able to find a clean line onto Green Dragoon, taking him down. That's why you gotta respect the flash. Even though Rumble is immobile, it's so easy to flash on in, catch someone by surprise, get them down with that flame spitter, and just honestly have a bad time.
Very unfortunate for Barnegat.
Incredibly unfortunate for Barnegat here. Again, more and more advantages are coming down as time goes on. It's becoming harder and harder. We can see the Yone right there is beginning to pressure more and more. There's less room that we're seeing Burrito able to move on out. They have less and less opportunities to really make those pushes, really catch folks by surprise. And I don't know if this tower is going to be enough to protect. It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
No one decides to go for it for now. But in the meantime, things are looking pretty okay.
What would it take for Barnegat to come back from this?
Honestly, it's just going to take a couple of really good fights. The more kills that team gets, the more advantages that they're able to find. As a result of that, that also buffs up their bounty, makes them work more on death. Barnegat gets a good clean kill, maybe a Baron on top of that to boot. They're able to come back into this game. The problem, of course, is the actual, how do I do that of League of Legends? And the answer right now is, I'm not sure. It's going to take a lot of neutral objectives. It's going to take a lot of farm. It's going to take a lot of calm from Barnegat. And I'm not quite sure how calm they are after some of these fights. It is a lot to easily get jumpy about. Let's see if cooler heads can prevail as the Scion runs in, finds the backline, but it's not going to be enough here. Darius charges on in too, but isn't able to find a grab. The Nautilus goes down, but the Yone comes in with a 4. That's a triple kill off the back for NVOT. They're trying to go for more. The 4K for the Scion. Oh, the quadra kill actually coming in for the Yone. Scion is able to make it so it's not a clean takedown, but that is heartbreaking for Barnegat here. That means the Baron Nashor is going to go down quick. NVOT gets the purple buff. All the minions are going to be buffed.
So it appears that Barnegat was able to stand their ground a little more that time. Like a little bit more. They got it.
Yeah.
They're getting the hang of it.
The problem, though, is, again, these picks that we've been talking about here and these signs. It seemed like we saw Burrito move in a little earlier than maybe the rest of Barnegat kind of expected. And as a result of that, we saw folks sort of moving in a little bit slower, and that was just enough room for the Yone to line up and get a clean ulti on free. It did look strong for the longest time. Almost got the Scion. Did try to go for that pick. Just couldn't end up at the end of the day.
So now a follow-up from our earlier question.
Oh, yes, please, because a lot's happened and we haven't been able to
Yes, a
talk
lot
too
is
much.
going on. So are any of the dragons, besides the Elder Dragon, of course, because he's wonderful and all-powerful.
Oh, yes, of course.
Are any of the dragons better than the other ones?
It varies, it depends, right? Every commentator's favorite answer, every question. It really depends on the composition that you have. I think for the Infernals that we're seeing on MBOT, this is awesome, right? Like, you're given a lot of extra damage on champions that are known for picking and trying to burst down folks quickly. You're going to burst them even faster now. That's cool. So that's exactly what you want to see. I like the Mountain Drake for taking down objectives. That's really cool. If you're playing something like the Swain that Barnegat has, trying to make sure you can take things down, it allows your side to split push. Look at how quickly, by the way, Burrito just took down that tower. That all works together pretty cleanly in Barnegat's favor. That said, though, just some back-of-the-napkin math here. 3 is greater than 2.
Yes.
And so as a result of that, you see more of these advantages coming down over to NVOT. And look at that. There's not even much they can do. Talo gets their, I think, 7th kill of this game. That's absolutely insane. 8th one quick to follow. Again, it's pick after pick. He has the CC. He has the damage. One-man army, honestly, this Talo.
So now Barnegat only has 1 tower left on top lane. The mid lane and bottom lane ones are completely gone. But Barnegat was also managed to clear the top lane for NVOT.
Yeah, and take a look at that. We're now seeing a forced response here. So Talo, strongest player, I believe, right now on the side of MBOT, doing everything they can to make sure the Scion Burrito is unable to split push. And that means, by the way, a Dragon Soul has been claimed. So even more damage, even more power coming in over to the NVOT side. This is going to be a huge amount of damage. And now we also get to see even more priority coming in as the Elder Drake is next.
They also now have 4 Inferno Dragons.
The soul has been acquired.
And NVOT was even able to do a little bit of damage onto one of those first crystals.
And again, that is always the thing you have to watch out for. And we saw a really nice split push actually coming in there for NVOT. We saw Rumble stay in the mid lane, try to provide some of that pressure coming in here from the Baron buffed minions, try to take down that tower. And then in the meantime, we saw the rest of the team sticking behind, going for the dragon before, of course, we saw a split off again to protect against Burrito. So all in all, again, very coordinated play, very strong play. The only thing that I want to see now is that final push, is that end. Are they going to be able to go from taking these individual fights to something big, something sweeping that will truly allow them to go on through, take out inhibitors, take out Nexus turrets, and maybe even the Nexus itself? For now, though, it seems like Barnegat is inviting them into the base. The inhibitor turret is down, but the inhibitor is open, so it is going to be tricky. One bad fight here for Barnegat could be the end of the game. And NVOT knows it. I will say the Yone ulti being stolen right there is very scary, but look at that. Is actually, wait, no, they are able to take it. Look at that. I thought Talo went down. No, they just went back behind. Incredibly clean stuff here. That pick is going to give them the breathing room to take down the inhibitor. Super minions are now alive in the mid lane. They're going to back away, though. They got their objective. It looks like they might try to pivot somewhere else. And the bot lane is going to be that place. Look at that, just brazenly walking through the base, getting those minion waves on through. Nahus is picked up by the Darius, but he's so tanky, there's not much you can do here. Here comes the dive as well. Nocturne in the back line, trying to take things through. Yone towards the front. IQ is able to get 1 kill. Looks like they are going to be shut down for their efforts. That should be a huge benefit here for Barnegat. Take down the Nihilus, but here comes the Yone. Talo has been so incredibly strong. They also have a res on them as well, so they can fight with a little more impunity. But all that as it goes on through. Barnegat forced to stay in base. NVOT gets objective in the bot lane, gets objective now in the top lane as another turret goes down.
Wow.
Heck, Yone even gets another cleanup as well. Again, the base for Barnegat, aside from that top lane tower, is wide open.
Yes. Actually, the top lane tower is gone.
No, the top lane inhibitor turret is still open.
That one.
That's the only tower left. Again, very scary, very risky here.
So do we think we are going to see the Elder Dragon?
I will say, we're already seeing our second
question.
Baron Nashor. I don't quite remember the timing for the Elder Drake right now, but it seems like the way that these teams are playing, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Elder Dragon come down off its perch. For now, though, it is just going to be a game of how we're able to get things going. Burrito is getting great damage on the Yone. Is able to even pop the res here, but it is going to be at the cost of their life. We are going to see Barnegat try to go down deeper, see if they can get any kind of kills up as well, but nothing too notable to speak of. I have to say, though, taking down the res is huge here. It means they're not going to have 2 lives in this next fight. Also forces away a lot of that pressure. And what did we say about pressure? Taking it down means you're able to get objectives with the advantages you build. So that's another Baron Nashor down. It means that these minions, when these NVOT players are around them, are going to be buffed up. Everyone's going to move faster, be tankier. They're in the mid lane trying to see if they're able to maybe pressure some of these Nexus turrets, but they can just as easily split push in the top lane, force Barnegat to look through multiple different angles. And now we have a monstrous wave building. NVOT definitely looking for a way to end this.
Oh yes. They took those turrets down so fast.
Hey, you're this far ahead. You have this much econ. You have these Baron minions. You have a lot at your back right now. That's going to be a nice ulti from Yone. Follow-up as well coming in, but there's going to be the shutdown. Tello finally goes down. Side of the back lane, Burrito isn't quite able to find anything. Double kill comes on for the Rumble as well. Darius ticks down. Swain is low. However, it is going to be enough. Wait a minute, a quadra kill came out of nowhere. Where did Burrito even go from that?
Wow.
Barnegat is able to hold on, the sole remaining member alive. Again, that is not going to be enough to get them back in the game, but it is a start.
It is definitely enough for them to regroup and try to make a move.
I got to say, this is really nice to see for Barnegat. They don't want to try to hold just yet, and they were eventually able to find the line. And we also got to see Burrito do exactly what Scions want to do in this game, right? You're able to go down, get this huge CC early, and then convert your death into a huge amount of DPS to try to take folks down, find a quadra kill. That was absolutely insane. And oh, I am so sorry, I forgot. It's 5 dragons taken by a team for the Elder Drake, not 4. So that's actually another Infernal Drake coming down. I believe. Do
you think they're going to go for it?
Hey, I mean, at this point, oh, no, that is the Elder, excuse me, that is Elder.
The Elder Dragons appeared!
So we'll have to see how these teams are going to go for it. But for now, though, it is just going to be a game of posturing. It is going to be a game of how are you able to set up this pressure. Barnegat knows this dragon is alive. They know that they can't gift it over. They're trying to find the vision, but NVOT knows that as well. Talo finds a really clean kill here, already giving them an advantage. That's going to be hard for Barnegat to even approach.
Wow.
And that is going to be the Elder Drake. Like you heard me joke early on, that is going to mean that you're going to have a lot of extra power, extra executes as well. With that, here comes that pressure that we were talking about here. Inhibitor goes down again. The buildings are melting like butter. It's now going to be a time if NBOT is able to get another round at taking out this turret. They now have all inhibitors down. They're just trying to cross the I's, dot the T's. See if there's any advantages that come on through. There's the first kill into Green Dragoon. Yone is able to pick up something fantastic. We're seeing more and more executions as well from the Elder Drake. There's less health that Barnegat has to work with. The Nexus goes low, goes down. NBOT takes game 1. And again, that is rough for Barnegat, but I feel like sometimes it really just is better mechanics that win out the day. NBOT did fantastic in that game, was able to pick things apart, was able to find options to try to prevent Barnegat from snowballing in the first place. That is all excellent, amazing stuff to see.
Because it was all very even in the beginning.
Yes.
Up until all of the dragons started being killed and all of the other monsters that could give them more buffs.
Yeah. And I got to say, incredible to see. Both teams are going to move off for a huddle really quickly, see how they can adapt. We'll be back in a little bit here for game 2.
Fear is the first of many.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the League of Legends stage. We are here with Game 2 of our League of Legends State Championships here. Barnegat and NVOT are duking it out. NVOT has placed things into match point.
Is that fear I smell?
We're starting off with the first 3 bans.
Yeah, nothing too crazy so far. One thing to point out, though, is the Scion has, sorry, not the Scion, the Swain has been banned immediately from NVOT, and I think rightfully so, the Yone has also been taken off the table.
Indeed.
And no real big surprises there, honestly, I have to say. Like, Yone, whenever you see someone go, let's say, 17-1 on a champion, that's usually the time where you say, hey, let's take this off the table for you. You're not allowed to play this anymore. Regardless, though, we did see a couple of options here, too. I like the Swain ban that NVOT looked for. You're identifying the advantages that Barnegat had in that last game and trying to rip them away even further. For now, though, we are going to have to see how things are able to switch through as you go. It does seem like Burrito has been able to pick up the Scion once more, so they'll be able to run it back. We'll have to see, though, if they're going to be able to go on through in that same way.
Oh my goodness. I know that Scion, like, the whole point of him is, like, you're supposed to die.
Yes.
I just feel like there was a lot of dying.
Well, again, like, it was all about pushing those advantages, right? And for Scion, if you are able to get a bunch of creep waves taken down, if you're able to get a bunch of extra objectives here and there, it works. It's great. But it also varies a little bit, and then eventually, I feel like the rest of the NVOT team comp just kind of caught up with Scion.
Yeah.
And it became harder and harder for Scion, for Burrito, to well and truly split push through most of these fights. So it is always a bit of give and take. We'll have to see if Burrito gets the run back that they're looking for in Game 2. Beyond that, though, we have the bot lane immediately picked up from NVOT. That's going to be the solid combo of Braum and Misfortune.
So we're seeing a lot of different characters.
For now, though, we are going to keep on keeping on here. Aphelios being locked in, and wait a second, no way, no how. That's a Hui locked in here from NVOT, and let me tell you, Hui is a champion that's incredibly complicated, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second, because we're going to be welcoming some friends over from Twitch. Hello and welcome, Twitch audience. We're still here on the League of Legends stage. You saw Game 1 where NVOT was able to kick a pretty crazy sweep over Barnegat. Now Barnegat's looking for redemption, and NVOT is looking for a championship belt. And we're here in the picks and bans. You just missed a couple of easy picks and bans earlier on. Some big hitters from both teams locked away early on, with the Swain being taken away from Barnegat and Talak Ta Lol being prevented from playing the Yone once more. If you weren't able to watch that game, ended up going on a 17 streak. Absolutely insane stuff. I think ended up just going like 17-1 at the very end of the game. Incredibly difficult to overcome. No surprises to see that ban come on through. It is now Barnegat's final ban. I like the Rumble, again, trying to take away more tools away from these players that were able to succeed on NVOT. And Ornn is going to be the final ban taken away, but we have a few more picks to go through here.
So what do we think about these character choices?
Well, I gotta say, you got some very basic sort of ideas going on here, right? I like the Misfortune Braum combo. There's a lot of stuns to have to worry about there. There's a lot of extra priority you can get, and Misfortune just deals tons of damage. Beyond that, though, too, you then have Hui, who is actually a very complicated mid laner, has pretty much 3 or 4 times as many abilities as the average champion because he keeps opening up different spell books that do different things with his paintbrush. It's very scary to see. It means there's going to be a lot of rough things to deal with, and we'll have to see how the mid lane, I believe that Kayn that we're seeing locked in already, is going to be able to respond to that, try to find a couple of dives in the same way that the Yone did in that previous game. For now, though, things are seeming pretty calm. We have our bot lane duo from Barnegat here as the Rel is locked in pretty solid. Lots of really good engage tools on there, so should be a little bit more of an aggressive lane that we would expect coming in from Barnegat, where you still had a little bit of that in shades coming in from the combination of the Swain and the Senna. However, this is a lot more of a traditional pick composition, this traditional engaged spot lane duo that you would kind of expect to see here. And my only concern is that you're picking that into a Braum that has great peel, has great stuns, has great opportunities to try to uproot some of those things. It's now just going to be a question of what's able to happen.
So I also did just notice that they all just switched their characters. So they were
able to trade a little bit. Yeah,
they picked certain characters for their teammates,
and that's part of the strategy. They want to try to find ways to prioritize what they can prioritize. You don't want to wait for your bot laner if your strategy revolves around picking that misfortune. You want to pick it first, and then just say, hey, my top lane champion pool is pretty high and mighty. I could just let it run for as long as possible. I can let it all work out as much as it can.
So we got about like 30 seconds before we get into this fabulous match, and I can't wait to see what the turnout is.
Yeah, it is going to be tricky to see here. Again, NBOT walking in triumphant, walking in with all of these advantages at their disposal. They have the momentum, the wind at their back. They just now need to see if they can clinch it for the championship point, or if Barnegat is able to turn around, go for that reverse sweep, and play us some silver scrapes. For now, though, that's all the pause that we're getting. The spectators have been delayed, and we're heading into game 2.
Here we go.
Again, once more, this is championship point here for NBOT. A win for them means a state title at their back, a new belt in their school. And for Barnegat, a win for them is going to mean a new chance at life in game 3.
And if you notice, the belt has disappeared.
Yep, it's gone.
Oh! The Elder Dragon has taken its place.
The Elder Dragon has eaten our belt.
I know. How monstrous of him.
Well, I mean, a dragon's got to love a horde, right?
You're right.
The GSE Championship belt, as all these teams know, it is incredibly powerful.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
What happened?
So what about the switch thing?
Minions have spawned.
Alrighty, sorry about that. Just had a few things we had to iron out here. However, now that we are back, we get to see how things are rolling in this early game. And again, much like last time, teams are just going to try to spend a little bit of time feeling each other out, trying to figure out some of these advantages here. I really do want to focus in on Burrito a little bit through this early game, because of everyone that I see, that is the only consistent champion from game 1. So Burrito definitely playing to their comfort. Level 2 advantage, by the way, taken by the Barnegat side. So this is the aggression that I wanted to see from Barnegat in game 1, right? Like, they were able to find this early advantage. They were able to find opportunities here. And they were able to take it with that, able to force out the flash as well from Gumrook as well. That is going to be really effective. We'll have to see, though, if there's anyone be able to take an advantage of that. Remember, the dragon is incredibly... Sorry, the jungler is able to make great advantage of knowing when summoners are down, when you're able to go for things. It's a tricky thing to play around, but you have to watch out for it.
Now, do you think Barnegat playing aggressively in this situation is necessarily a good thing?
Hey, I mean, I think so, right? Like, this is their comfort. They want to play aggressive. They want to try to go for their advantages here at the end of the day. And honestly, like, I want them to play for their comforts. That's all you can really do when you're behind. And when they're aggressive, they are comfortable. Although, that said, Burrito may have gotten a little too comfortable there in that top lane. I gotta say, Set is one of those champions that is able to really abuse everything that Sion really wants to do, because has a lot of shields, has a lot of really I don't want to move, you move sort of potential there.
So now, I noticed that the character Sion is able to regenerate his health. Is that like something that he can do, or is that like the revive thing?
That is part of the revive thing. So whenever Sion goes down, you are going to be on a ticking clock. You are going to go down completely in a little bit. However, every time you attack, you regenerate a tiny little bit of health.
Okay.
So as a result, it lets you stay in the fight a little bit longer here. So it's able to give Burrito a few more advantages, get a couple more minions, maybe clear out a wave, all that kind of fun stuff. For now, though, things are looking pretty solid, all things concerned. Advantages are being sought after, be they either level, gold, what have you. One thing we haven't talked about, by the way, is actually the Dr. Mundo, too, in the front lane, in the mid lane. A little bit of a weird pick, honestly. Not something you would usually see in the mid lane, as it's predominantly focused in assassins, mages, big damage carries at the end of the day here. But I think because you're playing the Lilia in the jungle that could do quite a bit of, because you're playing the Kayn in the jungle that could get you quite a bit of damage, it's okay playing that second tank to try to shut things down. Oh, by the way, look at that flash in at the last second. Not going to be enough. Burrito is, however, going to be trading 1-for-1.
And it is still exactly the same as it was before.
Nothing ever happens on the Rift, as you can see there. But, hey, it is going to be enough to reset things. They were able to get a few more minions there. Couldn't quite see if they were able to fully reset and crash the wave, but I don't know. That wave looks pretty comfortable on the NVOT side. Here's some advanced League of Legends knowledge for folks in the audience here at Georgian Court, just learning along, trying to figure out what the heck a League of Legends is. One thing that you have to watch out for is wave management here. Each of these teams is doing everything they can, particularly in the top lane, to try to make sure the minions stay in a place where it is easy for them to slaughter them, get that econ, and get the ball rolling early on. It's why you see some players attempt a freeze here and there to try to make sure they can not only secure minions for themselves, but also deny them from their opponents. Every time that Burrito walks up, you can see just how much Zuik is punishing them over and over again. And that's your little League of Legends fact of the day. What do you know? It works out.
Very educational, and I'm sure extremely helpful for our viewers.
Yeah. Again, like I like to say, this is pretty much an equalizer here in Scholastic Sports. You may not know what League of Legends is, but you love your school. You want to see them win. I get it. This game, very, very scary. We're going to have some easier ones later in the day. Soccer with Cars is coming with Rocket League on stage 3 later. But either which way, we have our objectives. We know what we're going for. You learned along in Game 1. You have the towers, you have the inhibitors, you destroy the Nexus. Easy peasy, lemon, the third one, I suppose, to get all that going. That is going to be pretty clean. That's going to be noted a little bit too late there. Clean pick from Barnegat, but so far it hasn't resulted in any kind of kill. Gumrook is able to find a really clean getaway as well. Green Dragoon is tagged. Not going to be able to find any kind of extra peel. Bolivir tries to get that double up on the Misfortune, but everything is too careful. Barnegat is not taking any chances here. They saw what happened last time they gave NVOT an inch. They don't want to see the mile.
And luckily they were all able to make it out safely. Good for them.
Yeah, again, Barnegat, this is a positive thing for them to see. With that, though, we're actually going to be taking a break here on the Twitch stream. We're no longer be doing League of Legends. We're going to be recognizing some of the students that have excelled in this season. So please, let's take things over to the main stage where we're giving out some game-changing leader awards. Again, none of you can teleport, and I'm disappointed in you. Regardless, though, we still have more League of Legends to play over here, so that's exactly where we're going to stay. For now, though, again, this is back to that lull that we've been seeing these players go for, with one little exception here being Burrito. They've managed to find that split push they've been looking for here, and this is part of that wave management that we were talking about earlier on. They want to make it so the kills may be in NVOT's favor, but the objectives are firmly with Barnegat and firmly under the smite of Travel Boy.
That is absolutely insane how he keeps managing to steal it.
It's such a hard thing to do, and not for NVOT's lack of effort preventing it too, right? We've seen them slow down these fights. We've seen them do everything they can to force or potentially force Barnegat to mistime the smite. And yet, Travel Boy is patient. They know the timers, they know the levels, they're doing everything they can to push their way through. And they've found it here. That is another huge objective, more power going over to the Barnegat squad.
They're doing a very impressive job at taking advantage of NVOT, like dealing damage to the big bosses.
All of this is incredible to see so far. Again, if you look purely at the kills, NVOT is the leader. If you see some of these fights, you start becoming a little bit more cautious. Barnegat is better at fighting this time around, but some things are still breaking a little bit more in NVOT's favor. If you're thinking about objectives, other than the Ocean Drake Constellation Prize that went over to NVOT, things are firmly in the realm of Barnegat.
Yes, they are. I would like to see Barnegat take out some towers soon.
I would too, but again, this goes back to that peel that NVOT has been managing here. Trust me, they're doing everything they can. Like, you see all that wave clear that Bebo But Worse is doing? Like, that is a ton. They're doing everything they can to force it to the tower, to try to get damage on them. But, again, it is tricky, and it goes back to sort of the gold deficits that we were talking about, right? Because it's not just kills you have to worry about in League of Legends. Taking down towers grants you more economy, lets you build more items, lets you do all that fun stuff. Wait, let's get back. And 1080 is caught out.
Tower.
Shutdown also going down on the ADC. That is a twofer, by the way, because now you have a clear shot at an objective with the enemy jungler down. There's no smite you have to worry about contesting. But, Bolivar is able to get a nice clean trade as well. So it's not without some heartbreak for Barnegat.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And then caught a second tower during that fight. It looks like they're pushing top
Red team's turret
right now.
Indeed. And by the way, I was just informed. Hello again, Twitch. We're back here on the League of Legends stage. Thank you so much for tuning in, checking out our game-changing leaders. So many students deserve to be celebrated across the state for their incredible performance this season, and we're happy to see which ones can cap things off here for a League of Legends state championship. If you are just tuning back in, NVOT is continuing a very dominant streak in team fights. However, that's not the whole story. We've seen Barnegat steal objective after objective from Dragon to Atacon over and over again. So we'll have to see how they're able to continue, if they're able to take those objectives and turn things around.
They're most certainly closing the gold gap. Because before it was like 5,000, but now it's getting a little closer.
A little closer, yeah. But again, it goes into more than that, right? It's going to require you to go for some of these towers, like Burritos just found. And to be fair, this is Burritos' job on this team. They're not looking for kills. They're looking to distract. They're looking for tower plates. Here, though, we are seeing a few more efforts happening here. 1080 is able to get a Drowsy off. That's a light stun that comes on through. There's Han coming in there with a huge amount of damage here. He's able to take out Green Dragoon quickly here. Travel Boy doing what they can, but they don't really care about them. They're trying to find Bebo But Worse, who does go down. The times misfortune also is able to find a very clean 4. NVOT continues up the streak, continues up the rise. They didn't lose anyone in that fight, and they can turn to the Baron. With only Kenny Boy surviving, there isn't that much that they can do.
And once again, they did a very good job pulling apart their team.
That's really the thing that we see, where either it's Barnegat being aggressive and NVOT stalling and delaying and letting that aggression fizzle before going in, or it's the picks themselves. It's trying to find opportunities as it goes on through. I got to call out one more thing, and this is me being an old head League of Legends commentator. I miss the winter map so much.
No, they look so fabulous.
It's so cute. And they've updated it way more since it last existed for when I was playing. I love the little toy train and the Poro pulling around the top lane Nexus.
The little
sorry, the red side
that
Nexus.
the Baron has,
and the
so
Baron Cat with the
cute.
Santa. Like, it's so cute. It's so, it's such a little thing, but it's one of those little things that
Yes.
I just love for League of Legends. It just makes me smile. But
It's so
independent of
wonderful.
that, though, I know what NBOT is. What's making NBOT smile? It is once again a bloodbath. So
Yes.
we'll have to see how they're able to continue pushing these objectives, pushing these advantages, trying to find anything that they can do here.
It looks like Barning's getting ready to pull the same move that they've been pulling.
Again, they're trying to see if they can make Lightning Strike twice. This time it will not be enough. Bullet Time for Misfortune is able to find a few. However, Tomboy is able to hide inside of another member of NBOT. 1080 is able to find Green Dragoon. The shutdown, though, comes in for Travel Boy, who gets taken out as well by 1080. Barnegat is able to find a few things here and there, forced to get taken out, but once again, taken down time after time. Dragon and kills going over to NBOT.
They
They're not
almost
even
had
done.
a good ambush there.
Yeah, they're not
They
even done
unfortunately
too. They're
got
trying to
turned
get
on
Kenny.
It looks like the tower was about to take him out instead.
Yeah, again, everything is coming up great if you're an NBOT fan. We even still see 1080 pushing in the mid lane, trying to see if they're able to take down mid lane turrets, maybe even inhibitors, but no, they're going to hold off a little bit more, try to get a reset, try to spend some of this gold they earned these past fights to build up these advantages. For now, though, it's looking scary. It's looking risky.
It
Barnegat
is.
has been in this position before, and they do not like it. We'll have to see which direction they opt to go in from here.
Here's a Green Dragoon and what does that say? Bob but worse?
Bob, but worse.
Bob it worse. Oh, Bob but worse. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what does that say?
I gotta say, to Bob's credit, Bob's been finding some pretty good plays here and there, right? Like,
Yes.
it does hurt that you're being focused down by so many of these other
I
threats because they're the AD carry, but when left alone, Bob is doing good work. But again,
Yes.
NBOT does not want to leave Bob alone.
Nope.
It is just a rough thing to have to deal with. For now, though, it is going to come back down to where these objectives come through, who's looking for the team fights where, what advantages can be found, and who can be caught out. Ooh, Gumroot has a bit of a dash, but requires a friend to come on through, and no one can come in time. Support going down isn't the biggest prize you can get, but remember, so much peel is activated by Gumroot just existing, right? The number of times I've seen Bolivir get away scot-free, hell, if I had a nickel, every time Bolivir was able to escape because of Gumroot's peel, I could probably buy a candy bar at this point. You know, it's not a ton, but I could use a candy bar right now. Like, you know.
It's like one too many.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so even if it's not the most impactful thing you can find now, I know you want to look for a jungle. I know you want to look for an AD carry. It is still an incredibly useful thing to
Yes.
really be able to move on through, really be able to disrupt NBOT's game plan. For now, though, we are back to the lull.
Yes.
The lull in the lull
It's
makes
slow
me
and steady.
lull. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out how many vowels I could stick in between that LL for League of Legends. Lull and laugh out loud are all I got right now. Hopefully you're a little more clever than I.
I don't know if I can think of any.
Let me tell you, the hardest thing that a commentator does, I teach my classes here at Garden State Esports, it's not about building a narrative. It's not about learning how to speak. It's not about telling a story. It's about trying to think of puns. That is the main thing that we do here. And it seems like we're finding a few more opportunities here. Green Dragoon is able to keep on keeping on here, but now Gumrook has an ally to jump to, so they're able to walk away with half health. Again, you got to watch for all of that here. Gumrook being on half health could open up a few opportunities here, but now Kenny Boy's the one getting caught out here. They're healing so much from their ulti. Will it be enough? Gets slammed down by the set. And in the side lane, 1080 is trying to find even more. The bot laners are going down, and Bebo worse. Bob, oh, excuse me. isn't even able to come on through as the Zonia's Hourglass is able to make 1080 go golden.
Wow.
With that, though, it certainly looks like NVOT is going up, up, up. It may be their moment, but there are still opportunities for Barnegat to find a way through this as well.
This is a very intense matchup, but it's very close.
Yeah.
They both have, I feel like they both have a lot of strengths in this.
And again, it just comes down to how they're able to play to those strengths. Because again, Barnegat, we've seen Green Dragoon do it time and time again. They're finding the picks, they're finding the stuns. However, there's too much peel on the side of NVOT that by the time that everyone else is able to solo it down, that target's already safe.
Yes.
They can't get on through. There's not enough that can be done. And now we have to wait a little bit longer as another Drake goes down in favor of NVOT.
NVOT seems to be getting a lot of the same type of Drake.
Yeah.
First it was fire, now we're water.
Well, remember the way that it works. After the first 2 dragons, you only get 1 more type of Drake for the rest of the game until you hit the Elder. So it does mean you now have a bit more power here. For the record, the Ocean Drake that they have here, unlike the damage, is now about cooldowns and mana regen, which is also... Oh, wait, hold on. Hong is able to find a quick little kill. Didn't even see that. That's the power of the set. Is able to go for a quick little slam of Burrito as well, but it's into too many players of Barnegat. That's going to be a shutdown in favor of Burrito here, as Barnegat is now looking for more ways to get in. Burrito, though, very low health. Not much they can do. Boy is going where they can as well, but they get stunned up here. 1080 has plenty of damage, and now T-Law is able to come back in to try to go for a few kills of their own. That mid laner was forcibly moved out of the mid lane, but it is not enough for them to go. It is another ace, and let me tell you, that Baron looks pretty attractive.
Look at his little ear bumps.
Yeah, the ear must get all the little mittens going on.
It's so adorable.
Yeah, I gotta say, I personally these days I mostly cast Teamfight Tactics over League of Legends. Baron was just is being added as a unit to the next TFT set, so I'm excited to get to see him on the Rift a few times before I get ready to play him on the Convergence. But either which way, I think it's gonna be much colder on the Rift on the Convergence because it doesn't have all those little mittens. Makes me sad, really.
I know. They make him look so cute.
Who do you think knits those mittens for Baron? Because like they gotta be huge.
Oh,
mittens,
you're right.
Because I think each of those mittens look like they're roughly the size of Braum.
You know what? Maybe the Elder Dragon makes them out of his beard.
You think the Elder Dragon? Oh, honestly, that is a delightful headcanon. And I believe that now. I like to think after this is done, Baron Nashor, Elder Dragon, they're going to go home. They're going to make a nice cup of hot cocoa. Well, hot cocoa for the Baron, tea for the Elder Dragon.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
it's really going to stress out its voice a little bit with all those streams. And, you know, it is lovely to watch them really get together at this point. But independent of that, though, let's see how these two teams are getting along. And I'll give you a hint. It's aggressively. Look at Bob getting chunked down by individual cannonballs from that misfortune. Green Dragoon is also strong at healing, but there's so much to have to deal with here.
Yes.
Trauma Boy is able to find options as well, but this misfortune has tanked in to go for a few more, has opted to go for a few more tank stats because they know they have to worry about Trauma Boy. They know have to worry about the assassinations here, there, and everywhere. Kenny Boy is doing what they can to try to get that kill. Scion goes wide. Kenny is able to get it. Burrito's able to get the stun. Gumroot goes low. Goes down. Not yet. T-Lo is able to find a triple kill off the back. Bob is able to find Gum at the end of the day. Quadra in the back for Bob. Didn't even see that off to the side. Where did that happen?
They were able to group up really well in that last, few seconds.
You look away for a second. And a pentakill makes its way through with 10 seconds left on Green Dragoon. Powered up minions in the base. This looks like it's going to be it. Tower 1 goes down, tower goes down. The Poro train must come to a halt, and we must declare our state champion for League of Legends, NVOT.
That was a very good match between both the teams. They both showed some very good plays and a lot of skill.
Absolutely insane stuff. clean textbook play coming in from NVOT across both games here. Found the game of League of Legends that they wanted to play, and my goodness, they made sure they played it.
Very, very good.
Yeah. We will be moving over to the Smash stage fairly soon. We're just waiting for a quick little call from our producers. Let's talk a little bit more about GSE's mission, though, while we're waiting to do that, because GSE is incredible. We're in over 300 schools across the state of New Jersey. Those are high schools, middle schools, and now colleges of our collegiate league. I know you can talk about that, being from Rowan University and started really heading up the program there. Like,
yes.
I know the people who really run it. I know it's really you at the end of the day. Independent of that, it all works out pretty cleanly. We've seen so many schools play for so many championships over all this stuff, and we are not done yet. We crowned our League of Legends state champion. It's now time to move over to the Smash Bros stage to keep giving out belts over and over again. See you there.
Or down here.
We're down there. Up here? All right, they'll take photos.
All right, let's give it up for our New Jersey State League of Legends champions, NVOT. Hold the belt. Woohoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stage 2, Group 2 Marvel Rivals Finals. The home team, Cape May Tech Hawks versus West Deptford Eagles. Enjoy the show.
Test. Am I good? Yeah? Alright. Alright, everybody, welcome here. We are going to start our rivals sort of match here. This is Group 2 Finals. You guys know the teams. They're already introduced. I'm a little late on that. But yeah, we're going to see these two teams face off as we get started.
Yes. It's going to be a great match. Cape May, we saw them play earlier in the semifinals, put up a great match.
These are finals, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And
all right. Group 2
this
finals.
Is our finals. State champions for Group 2.
We see Hell's Haven. I don't think our team picked anything but Hell's Haven. So, yeah, that's that's kind of where this map. I don't think I've seen any map get used but Hell's Haven for domination. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna get this started here. I think. Oh no! We actually scrimmed against Cape May. Oh. They're good. So it's gonna be a really good match here as we start off with the bands Venom and Moon Knight. What are your thoughts on that? Between these two?
I think that's West Deptford has done their research with that Moon Knight ban. Cape May in the semifinals was doing very well with Moon Knight with his constant ult.
Do you want me to move this? Can you?
No, it's fine.
Okay. As we're gonna see Angela get saved. I love Angela. Angela's my main, so I'm a little biased, but we're gonna see Angela and an Invis woman get saved. Invis, arguably the best support in the game. I think she's definitely up there.
Right. Her ult charges so quickly, and it really does a lot with the invisibility and blocking sight lines. It can really counter a lot of offensive.
We're going to see an anti-dive pick out of ban out of both teams here as Storm gets picked. Storm, I feel like she's sort of, that like playing of her has been kind of fell off from recent.
Right. She was really bad when she first
really
came
good
out, and then she got buffed heavily, and seems like she's fallen off somewhat.
Yeah, she's still really good though. And now, especially if we look, we see Hella's banned. So that's probably why they decided to go Storm here. They see the Hella ban. They didn't even have to do it themselves. The other team banned Hella, and they're like, let's take advantage of that. Let's use our flyers and see if we can do good.
Or villain, I'm not judging.
All right. And Groot ban coming in too. Is Groot? I don't know. Did they buff Groot? Because if I last remember, he wasn't that good, I don't think.
I'm actually not sure.
But I mean, he has his carry potential. I think a team like this doesn't need carry potential. They just need, you know, good players because everyone's good. So yeah, we see Angela. I love Angela. I don't know if I said that. Just happens to be my main. She's very versatile. Yeah. Very interesting pick. Team comp from Cape May. We're not going to say it yet because they're not supposed to look. But very interesting. I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out, though.
Right. You know, with the domination setup, it's going to be a lot of organized team fights in the center of everything. So
yeah, honestly, there's only I like the picks here. A lot of these characters thrive in situations like that. So I think very good picking, sort of knowing where you need that counter. And that's why a lot of the times I don't know if it's just me, but I think the one-trick culture, especially in games like this, is just it's very counterproductive. Because it's like, because I think a lot of these games, you can really take advantage of the fact that you can switch literally whatever. Like in a game like Valorant, you don't really get that same ability because you can only switch at the start. So it's like only being able to play one character in a game like this is very interesting.
I disagree. I think it's a very noble thing to do. It's really, everyone should strive to do that.
Well, I think we know why, but I know why you think that. But as you see a quick pick here, Angela already gone. Bucky getting the quick kill there. Now they're going to try to come in. Cape May's going to push them offside already. West Effort down one. West Effort's also spelled wrong, but it's fine. I think that maybe because there's not enough places. Another one goes down here. West Effort down 2 already in this fight. About to be a third. Can they save him? No, they can't. And it looks like Cape May is going to roll through this team fight and take team, fight 1.
West Effort solidly pushed back as Cape May takes point.
Yeah, we're going to see how West Effort, we're going to look to see, will they stagger? That's a lot of the problems that people have here. As we see Strange coming in really close and he gets killed. Wow, Strange kidnapped there. Now, West Effort now up 1 in this fight. Back on the advantage here. Cape May is getting pushed back. We're going to see what they can do here. Angela trying to get in. Can't do anything with his Bucky, though. As now, Stormball coming in, hitting everybody. Will that be... Gets one. Gets another and gets... Oh, wow.
3 kills. Big ult from Storm.
And West Effort takes it off of the giant Storm ult there. Getting 3, which is great. Now we'll see how Cape May responds to losing this momentum.
Yeah, I think it could really go either way at this current point in time.
Yeah, the thing with domination is this game. Honestly, most of these game modes revolve around momentum a lot, but especially this game mode because once a lot of these maps are really chokehold. I don't know, and she dies. Wow, getting picked off early there is Angela. Is a domination map with West Deptford 1-2-0. Cape May took the whole point, and now we're fighting here. Right on point.
Right. In this convoy map, Cape May is doing. They lost the first point with a lot of time to spare.
Huge name on all. Here comes the Captain Miracle saving them though. As now it looks like Cape May's gonna get pushed back a little bit. As Captain goes in for the kill, getting one. He's gonna push them back even more. Cape May on the defensive once again. As now Bucky killed. Cape May's gonna have to back up here as Captain keeps it going. Here comes the Strange Portal though. As it looks like Frozen in their spawn here. Are they gonna be able to touch? They do get it. Here comes Strange Ult, getting a ton, but in Jeff too. Hook and dagger though, not grabbed by it. As a lot of West Deptford still moving. As we see going in for the attack here. West Deptford trying to fight. They still can. Cape May going down faster and faster, and it looks like Cape May will lose this fight. And West Deptford will take point one.
Pretty good time from West Deptford. 3 minutes remaining. I'd say that's enough time to potentially make up the deficit Cape May has.
You have a fight or two lost in there, honestly, and time-wise, if you really need. As we're going to see Cape May having to regroup here for the first time this game. They've been in constant go mode for the rest of this. We're going to see how they can recover and sort of regroup here. That's going to be where a lot of them stand. Is Captain America's in there deep, very deep, and he gets killed. Wow. Bucky pulling him in, and it just wasn't enough. Captain America couldn't get out, and now Deptford is down one. Cape May's going to try to go on the attack here, and they get another. Now 4-2 here, or 4-6.